Hi, I'm Bethany. In this video, I will walk you through the basics of synth playing on push, including how to identify notes on the grid, adjusting scale layout settings, and how to play a major scale on push. I've loaded a MIDI track with the basic lead melodic instrument for demo purposes, but any MIDI instrument would work. Now I will select the MIDI track by clicking the button under the track's name, and I will press the note button on the right side of push to enter note mode. Being in note mode means we could use the pads to play MIDI notes into the selected MIDI track. If I press the scale button, which is right below the note button, we will see the scale menu on push's display screen. By default, the scale is usually set to C major. I can select the scale root with the buttons above and below the display screen, and I can also change the scale quality with the second leftmost encoder on top. Let's do something fun. Let's say A flat major. Now, if you look at the grid, you will notice that some pads are colored in blue, which is the color of the MIDI track we've selected. All of these blue pads represent the root of the selected scale, which is A flat now, since I've selected A flat major from the scale menu earlier. To play melodies on push, I like thinking about shapes or configurations. For the major scale, a really useful shape is the 3-3-2 shape. Starting from the root note, that is the pad in the color of our selected track, blue in this case, I play 3 pads from left to right. 1, 2, 3. 3 more directly above. 1, 2, 3. And 2 on the row above that. 1, 2. And there we have our A flat major scale. I'll demonstrate this one more time. Starting from the root note, which is the blue pad, I'll play 3 pads from left to right. 1, 2, 3. 3 more directly above. 1, 2, 3. 2 on the row above that. And that's our A flat major scale. If we use the same 3-3-2 shape and start from a different blue pad, we will also get the A flat major scale. But depending on the position of the pad we start from, the scale might be in a different octave. Let's move a little bit higher. Let's start from here this time. And we'll do the same shape. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. There's our A flat major in a higher octave. Let's go even higher up this time. Let's go here. We'll do the same shape again. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Now we get an A flat major in an even higher octave. Currently, all the notes available on our pads are within the A flat major scale. What if we want to play notes outside of the A flat major scale? What if we want to play, say, a chromatic scale? We are currently in key mode, which means that only the notes that are part of our selected A flat major scale will be available on the pad. We can switch to chromatic mode by pressing the leftmost lower display button, right below where it says in key chromatic, to switch the pad grid to chromatic mode. Now we're in chromatic mode. You might have noticed that our grid layout has changed now that we're in chromatic mode. We now have pads that are lit up as well as pads that are not lit up. In chromatic mode, all the pads that are lit up are notes that belong to the scale we're in. All the pads that are not lit up are notes outside the scale. Here's A flat major. And since our grid is now in chromatic mode, we also have access to all the other notes outside of the major scale. Here's A flat chromatic scale. Now let's take a step back. If we want to play an A flat major scale when our grid is in chromatic mode, we will still keep our 3-3-2 shape, but we will only be playing the pads that are lit up because we want to stay inside A flat major to play the scale. Let's try this out together. Starting from the root note, which is the blue pad, we will play 3 lit pads in a row. 1, 2, 3. 3 directly above. 1, 2, 3. Skip the unlit pad because we want to stay inside A flat major. Then play the next 2 lit pads. I'll demonstrate this again. I'll start from the root, which is the blue pad. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Skip the unlit pad. 1, 2. You notice that in chromatic mode, we are keeping our 3-3-2 shape, but we are playing every other pad in our first 2 rows. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and we start one step inward to the right on the top row. In the examples I've demonstrated so far, I've always started from the scale root A flat. What is amazing about Push's layout is that if we keep the same 3-3-2 shape, we can play a major scale basically anywhere across Push, no matter which pad we start from. For example, let's start from down below here. We do the same shape. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Now we get a B major. Let's start somewhere higher up this time. Let's start here. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Now we get a C major in a higher octave. Now, I haven't fully answered the question of how to know what note each pad represents. Let's take a look back at the scale menu on our display screen. On the left, below layout, it currently says fourths. That means each pad directly above another is a fourth higher. We know that blue represents A flat. So if we move to the pad directly above, it is a fourth up, which is D flat. If we move up vertically again, it will be a fourth higher than D flat, which is G flat. And so on. There are multiple layout settings that we can choose from. By turning the leftmost encoder on top, we can change the layout settings of the grid. If we're in thirds, it means that when moving up to the next pad vertically, each pad will be a third higher. If I start from A flat now, because the layout is now set to be in thirds, when I move to the pad directly above, it will be C. If I move up again, it will be E. I usually set my layout to be in fourths, and the 3-3-2 shape only works when the layout is set to fourth as well. To do a quick recap, we've learned how to identify notes on the grid, we've tried various grid layout modes that we could choose from, and we've learned how to play a major scale on Push. A big part of playing melodies on Push is about fingering shapes or fingering configurations, so congratulations! In this video you've learned one of the patterns, which is 3-3-2 for a major scale if the layout is set to fourths. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, please like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video!